When it comes to the pinnacle of arts in the Scarlet and Violet era, the special illustration rares take the crown. These insane cards take the arts you find on an illustration rare and take it up a notch. And in this video, I'll be taking a look at 10 of my favorite special illustration rares just to show you guys what I've been collecting and what my favorites are. And let me know in the comments if I missed any of your favorites. Hey, my name is Collections, I'm Sean and I collect things, and this is my channel where I talk about the Pokemon card hobby, give advice, and sometimes open packs. If this is the first video you're seeing from me, thank you so much for clicking on the video, it really means a lot, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you for the continued support. I'm just trying to make a lot of good, helpful content right now, so if you guys want to see that type of content, stick around, leave a like and comment, and let me know what you guys want to see. And before I get started, I also left a link or an image of the winner of the last giveaway I did for the Prismatic Evolution mini tin. If this is your name, please reach out to me on Instagram to Collections. I'll throw that info up also. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and take a look at these cards. Okay, cool. So taking a look at the special illustration rares, you see here that I've pulled up the big list of just like every special illustration rare they've released for the Scarlet and Violet era so far. You can do a quick search with this on TCG Player going to Pokemon All English and special illustration rare if you guys have not seen this before. But as you can see, special illustration rares, while being some of the best cards, are some of the most expensive ones. I'm not going to take a look at only the expensive cards in this video, but I just wanted to show you guys there is a whole bunch of different arts. So although some of these cards, like this Goldengo, might not appeal to you, there's definitely going to be some special illustration rares that might, like this Charizard, or for example this Executor, which I did not leave on this list, but it is probably my like 11th favorite. So if you guys want to see more of this, let me know and I'll do another list like this. But without further ado, let's get started taking a look at the actual list. Okay, so the first one we have here, Koraidon EX from Scarlet and Violet base set. This card is honestly, I think, part of what made me believe that Scarlet and Violet was going to be like an insane era for the Pokemon card game. The art on this is just insane. The scans don't do this justice. The card itself, when you look at it in person, it's way brighter. For some reason, the Scarlet and Violet base scans they got are very dark. As you can see, Dodeni here is like a super dark color. But it's Koraidon in this ancient jungle, essentially. And it looks just insane. The way this was all composed and everything. Just a beautiful card. You can see the price has gone up a little bit over time. I think it's just from... This doesn't look like a buyout to me, just natural growth from people coming back to the hobby. Like we've talked about many times for illustration rares. But the card itself, doing $17. A pretty beautiful card. It's actually one that I pulled when Scarlet and Violet base first released. I'm trying to remember when, but I think it was the first ETB. I went to a LGS. They had a couple of ETBs. I picked one up. This is like my main chase card for this set. I ripped it open and like out of the third pack, it was the Koraidon EX. Super hype moment. I got like a top loader and sleeve from them. But yeah, this card, very beautiful. I was picking up a couple of them when they were like 10 bucks a piece. Now that they're 17, not sure if I'm going to do that anymore. But yeah, although Koraidon EX wasn't like super playable, its ability not as good as Miraidon's, which allowed you to bring out basic Pokemon. I think the art on this one's like a little bit better. Like I said, the scan here doesn't do the card justice, but when you see it in person, if you're able to get your hands on it, definitely take a look. The way everything pops together, it's just super lush, super vibrant, and I really, really love this card. The next one I want to take a look at is Latias EX from Surging Sparks. It's not from the new Prismatic Evolutions, but I think Surging Sparks does have a huge number of like really, really good looking special illustration rares. And I think Latias EX, it actually looks even better than Pikachu EX. I don't know if everyone would agree, but the fact that this is one of the connected art cards, like I've talked about in my previous video going over connected art cards, I think that this Latias is just, chef's kiss stunning. It's like Latias over this beautiful sunset, over a beautiful city. It reminds me of the Gen 3 movie. I forget what it's called exactly, but it's with Latias and Latias just over like this European city. And I think it really evokes those type of vibes. It's just super, super stunning. And Latias being like the legendary Pokemon from the Gen 3 games, which I know a lot of people have a lot of fond memories for. It's just super amazing. And that's not even to talk about the special ability it has, which is to give your basic Pokemon to play no retreat cost, meaning you can essentially throw up anything you want that's basic and retreat it out for free, leaving out a bunch of new avenues that weren't there before. Super, super stunning card. The art's just amazing. Like I said, connected art cards are some of my favorite, and Latias being the legendary it is, I don't think this price chart is going to change that much, even with the huge Surging Sparks reprint. So super cool card, a little bit out of most people's price ranges, I would say, but the way that the whole Pokemon market is, it's kind of hard to say whether or not it's going to stay at that price. The next one is the only one I do have from Prismatic Evolutions, just because I think the art is peak art outside of like the obvious EV choices. The Palafin EX is just insane art. I think if you're like an anime fan, this is done by the Fist of the North Star artist. If you guys did not know that already, I have like one or two of these in Japanese. Have not had the luck of pulling this in Prismatic Evolutions just because of how brutal it is. You guys have seen my hit rates on that set. Super, super stinky. But yeah, this card, insane art. Palafin, I think they've been pushing it really hard in terms of like Pokemon from the newest generation, but I think it's pretty fair. I think this card and the Pokemon itself, the design is like pretty sick. If you think about it, a transforming dolphin into like this hero. It reminds me a lot of like the Yu-Gi-Oh card, Neo Hero is like the dolphin looking one. I'll throw up an image of it if you guys have seen that before and played Yu-Gi-Oh before, but it's still a really cool looking Pokemon. The ability is just super unique, and they translated that ability really well into the card game, making it so that when you put it into play, you can swap it out with the ability for the card in your deck. And so that allows you to bring out the Palafin as if it was in the game where you have to switch it out in your party to bring out the huge form. And as you can see here, the price on this thing is like kind of bonkers. Right now it's like $90, but I think that's also just because Prismatic Evolutions is so hard to hit in. I think until we get like a really big reprint, I don't expect the Prismatic Evolutions SIRs to really change in price. So this is what I'm keeping my eye out on. I hope that over the next coming months, with the insane amount that Pokemon plans to print, this card will go down in price and I'll be able to pick one up for like $50. I'd be okay with that, but at $90 I'm still a little iffy, just because, you know, getting the Japanese card only cost me $10. The Palafin EX here is like $90, but if we're talking about just purely for art, I think this card is insane. Just like the way it's composed, the dynamics of it, you can see like the fists, and like you can see the lines drawn on it. It's like very, very anime inspired, which is obviously because it's done by the Fist of the North Star artist. Okay, next one, Gardevoir EX. This is not the Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet base. Instead, it's the one from Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates, if you guys have been keeping up with it, has been doing insane numbers, but I don't want to talk too much about the money here. But I want to talk about is it's a beautiful card here with this little Wooper, if you guys can see it, super derpy looking guy, and the Pachirisu here sleeping. It's just a very serene looking card, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. It's a very serene picture. Gardevoir EX, not just regular Gardevoir EX, but the shiny one with the blues, the hues of blues everywhere with like this really blue moon. I don't know, very beautiful card. Gardevoir EX is like super popular, super playable BDIF right now, I think. Best deck in format, which means it's pretty much the best deck in the whole format we're seeing right now. Its ability making it what it is, allowing you to attach energies with the cost of like putting damage counters. And while you think that might be bad, Gardevoir EX, the deck itself has a way to mitigate this downside by moving damage to your opponents, which makes it actually an upside in some cases. So this deck, super cool. When I was still playing the game pretty heavily, I'm trying to get back into it right now, so maybe once I do that, I'll make more content about stuff like that. But essentially, I was planning to bling out my deck with 3 copies of this Gardevoir EX. Never got around to doing it. It was at like 50, and I was like, oh, it's too expensive. I don't feel like pitching it up at that price. But little did I know that when it was at this price of 40 to 50, we'd only see an increase from there to the price it is at now. But I think it's kind of fair. Paldean Fates has like 7 special illustration rates. It's kind of hard to hit, and the price of the set's getting a little bit up there. But it is honestly super beautiful card. I ended up picking up a PSA one for a couple months ago. I think when it was like starting to climb in price for around $60 into 9. So I was pretty happy with that. So at this point, yeah, I don't really plan to throw it into a deck 4 of, but I think this card is just super beautiful. And I do have another Gardevoir on the list. It's Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet base. I've talked about this a bit in length in my connected art cards video, but I still want to throw up here because, yeah, it is one of my favorite cards. I pulled this one from one of the first booster boxes I think I opened on the channel. Either that I opened on the channel or I was planning to, but I opened by myself. But it is stunning. The storytelling on this art is just beautiful. You start with the Ralts and the woman, and she gets a little older with the Curlia when she has a son, and then you can see the son all grown up when she has a Gardevoir and it's helping her crochet. It's super cool. I don't know, this art's just really great. All the details in the background, you see the little drawing she made of like the Curlia when she was a kid, the Ralts picture here, a little Ralts doll she made. It's just, how can you not see this card and just like enjoy and just see how beautifully done this card is. I think, yeah, altogether in a binder, just chef's kiss, stunning. And the price is like gone up really, really hard. We've talked about this before in the last video. It started off as like a $20 card throughout the year. Now it's like a $30 card, so it's honestly not too big of a jump if you want to pick it up, but it is peak. And like I talked about with the last Gardevoir, these two are effectively the same card, reprint done with the new art. But if you want either one to play in a deck, I don't know. I think since this Gardevoir is just great, but this one is just stunning. So I'd probably use this one if I didn't care about the monetary value and just trying to bling on my deck. The next one we have is Walking Wake EX from Temporal Forces. The Ancient Paradox Pokemon are my favorite between the Ancient and Future ones, and I think Walking Wake is a pretty stunning one. When we saw the teasers and we got this first, before the DLC was released, it was just a super hype moment to see like Suicune transform into this ancient dinosaur. I think the art on this one really captures it. Just Suicune in this like really ancient jungle, which I guess a lot of these cards on my list kind of evoke the same feeling. We have Koraidon EX with a similar feeling here. And we have Gardevoir EX, not ancient, but like in this forest, just living its life. but here in like this blue forest, it's just super ancient looking. It's just really dynamic. You see how this walking wake or the Suicune is like this hunter raptor type of Pokemon, which standing on its hind legs, just trekking through the forest, ready to like hunt down its prey. And it's a pretty stunning card. Card's not super playable, but it is really beautiful. Temporal Forces, when we started seeing the hit rates get a little worse, I would say. And so I think the prices on the special illustration rares kind of reflect that. You can see this one here. For a while, it's doing like pretty high numbers. We can look at the price charts. It's always been like a pretty expensive card from like $40, but it's steadily gone up. Not as much as like other special illustration rares, because I think the hit rates was kind of like priced in and it didn't make it like move too much when people started coming back. But it is a pretty cool card. I think the art's just really nice. Not a super playable card, but yeah, really good. One of my favorites just for the art itself. You can see lowest listings like $60, so pretty expensive, but it's the price you pay for the special illustration rares. And the next one is Dachshund EX. As you can see, like when you go to like the more modern, more like recent sets, you can see how the scans we get are getting a lot better. I think it's because the new sets, they gave like the high quality scans, so you don't even see the texture on it. But the Dachshund EX is very, very great. I pulled this out from a pre-release actually. So I went to a Stellar Crown pre-release. I hit the gold pin, like I mentioned before, just from the pre-release kit. But from the price packs I got the Dachshund EX, and I was super, super excited about this one. Just a great card. Dachshund EX, out of the 3 different dog lines from Scarlet and Violet, like I mentioned before, it's my favorite line with the Fido and Dachshund. It's just really cute. And you can see here, it's here with a picnic eating a pie, it looks like, and some other baked goodies. But I'm not sure if it should be able to do that if itself is a dog that's bred. So it might be cannibalism, but it is pretty cool. The ability doesn't make it anything special. It's a pretty cool card though. You get to remove any damage but discard energies, so it's like a support type of Pokemon. I don't think it's really played anywhere in any of the meta decks, but maybe you can get there sometime in the future with the new rotation coming soon. But overall, really love this card just for the art. It's just the way it glows. It's on a little picnic. I love dogs, so Dachshund here, peak art. And you can see the price has gone up. I think this one might be a buyout, which kind of sucks because you can see for the longest time it's holding pretty steady at around the $30 mark. But over the last, like you can see January 31st, someone bought 80 copies, bringing the price up. So it's kind of gross that this can happen, but something to take note. Don't fall for the FOMO, but also it really does suck that things like this buyout can happen. But over time, cards usually come down, usually not to the same floor, but a little bit higher, but you can wait it out if you want and just see where the price ends up on this card. Next one, we got Tapu Koko from Paradox Rift. This one's a bit of a, I think, sleeper pick. I don't think people are as hyped as I am on this card, but I think the way that the pastel colors here, they're really vibrant. It's Tapu Koko on this beach, which really evokes the Alola vibes, but in a way that's very unique. I don't know, I just really like the way the sun is drawn, the lines running down it, and you can see the reflection here, the different way the sky is represented here with the purple at the top, the orange, and then the pink. It's just really, really dynamic, I guess, and very cool. And it comes back to the artist itself, which is Jerky. We've talked about Jerky before. He has the Pidgeot EX from Obsidian Flames as one of those really unique arts. And I think Jerky's art is pretty divisive in terms of whether or not you're really into it. And I'm on the camp that it's pretty unique compared to the special illustration rares. And I think that's partly why I like this card so much. You even see like a little coconut here. But Tapu Koko, pretty cool Pokemon, I think. Out of the Tapu's, probably my favorite. So that's a plus there too. Like with many on this list, not super playable. I think the only really hugely playable ones were the Gardevoir EXs, but it is a pretty unique card. As you can see here, price is pretty steady at like $13. Yeah, the price jumps aren't even that much, honestly. It goes from 11 to 18, and now we're going back to 18. So honestly, pretty safe bet. I don't think this one's been bought out or anything. I think it's just people collecting this card that haven't had it before. But yeah, if you want it, pretty nice card. I do like this card art a lot, pretty much. And the next one we have is Ice Cube EX from Obsidian Flames. I don't remember if I mentioned this one before. I think I did in one of my mail videos, but it is a really derpy card. I was picking these up when they were like $2 a piece, which honestly was pretty recent. For the longest time it was $2 a piece, but it's gone up to $6 a piece. Not a really large jump, but it is pretty funny to see. I think Obsidian Flames as a whole is getting a little bit more love right now, but it is really derpy. Ice Cube is like this ice penguin. They turned it into a fire type and gave it like a rocket for a head. I know it's just a Terra Crown, but the way they treat it here is really, really funny looking. It looks like it's blasting itself off with the fire. Or maybe it's just tipped itself over from being too heavy on the head. Hard to tell. Really derpy art. But it's honestly a pretty cheap SIR. So if you like SIRs, if you want a copy. I actually just did pick up one recently. I'll show it off in my next mail video. But yeah, great card. Really love this one. And the last one I want to talk about is my favorite starter from Paldea, the whole region. It's Skeledirge EX. As you can see here, just great art. It looks like they're in a town from Paldea. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it actually looks exactly like a Paldean town, but it is really great. It's just the slice of life you get here. Skeledirge and its trainer just walking through the city after they went grocery shopping. You see all the bags on its back, walking through this vibrant city. Just, oh, chef's kiss. Evokes really nice feelings. And although the art is super great, the card isn't super playable, but that doesn't really matter for special illustration rares. I think price one of these is mostly based off the art, which is honestly a great part of why I like playing and collecting Pokemon. It's because it's super affordable when you do want to play. And yeah, the card game is super fun. But this card here, not for the playability, but for the art itself, it's gone up a bit over the last month. I think it's just natural growth. Doesn't look anything too suspicious to me. Maybe this one jump here, but honestly, it's probably fine. If you want this card, if you like Fuecoco and the whole line as much as I do, take a look at this one, because I think this is honestly, really, really great art. So now that we've taken a look at 10 of my favorite special illustration rares, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite and if there's any that I missed from this list. Like I said before the intro, there's so many great special illustration rares and a lot of it is subjective, so I wanted to hear your guys' opinions. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. If you guys have made it this far, thank you so much. It really means a lot when you guys watch the entire video and leave comments, all this stuff just to help me get pushed through the algorithm, and hopefully I can make more content that helps you guys collect. But that's all I want to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Collection signing out.